sounds familiar.
Jason. Well, I think that's that beat you hear when I do all my commercials. Is the J Strain beat. He's a good producer, man.
Strain or Strange?
J Strain.
Strain.
J
like
Strain.
Strain of weed.
Yeah, Strain of weed. How you doing, man?
I'm good. My phone's not going live, but
it's okay. We're live. Create Studios podcast 64, I think, with Pure Powers.
Yeah,
that's what it is, right?
That's
Pure,
me.
Pure.
Thanks, Believe.
Of course, man. I've been knowing you for a long time.
A minute, yeah.
Yeah, well, really on Facebook. I feel like Facebook is a whole different, like, I don't know, like genre of people that I fuck with. Like, there's Facebook people, then there's my Instagram people.
No, I feel like we met at a grind time battle in San Jose. Like a grind time silver. I used to be a battle rapper.
You did?
I was really aspiring. I was like 3-0 in 2 leagues between King of the Dot and Grind Time. Shouts out to Lush and
those were good leagues.
Guys.
King of the Dot.
Battled Hayes. He's out of San Jose.
Hayes out of San Jose. Cool cat. And I gotta look that up.
D. LeBrie catted on me and like said that
D. LeBrie was.
He said I didn't win the battle and I clearly won. You know, Hayes he had forgotten some punchlines and stuff like that, and I was really prepared. And D. LeBrie after that was like, yo, you know, I know you won. I'm from San Jose. I had to be loyal, you know, and you was already gonna win anyways. And I was like, I'm never gonna forget that, D. LeBrie.
Oh, so D. LeBrie was a judge?
He was a judge, and he voted against me, although I clearly. You know, it was unanimous.
Wow, and he voted from the guy. Cause I'm gonna make this a clip.
Yeah, and then
so because I know LeBrie.
We got beef.
He's in South Korea right now.
Yeah, shouts out to D. LeBrie. Wait, you know, I love D. LeBrie, man. He's like, that's why I haven't gotten a Pure Powers feature.
D. LeBrie's actually my mentor. He's one of my mentors.
I like D. LeBrie a lot, man. His wiggle, his hustle. And his heart, he's got a good heart, man.
He's very unmatched in his hustle.
Yeah, and I just love his wiggle. You know, just being like, I'm gonna go and just do it. And you have to be able to just do it. And a lot of people get scared and don't go do it. And you know what I mean? Just get yourself a ticket. Like, shouts out to the Grouch and Living Legends. They're like some of the early guys to just go out there and go get it on whatever budget they had. And they're like, I want to go see Japan and go get some cool recording equipment because at the time. They had the cool equipment from what I understand. And so they go out there and just like set up shows and just make it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is difficult as fuck. Which like, cause I remember growing up on the hieroglyphics and so like AC Alone in that era of culture. And so.
Shouts out to Project Blow.
Yeah. That's because I'm older, but that was like an era of hip hop because there were songs that were on the radio. And you had to talk to people like you and me about the songs or the cassettes that were passed around. They were dubbed. And just
actual mixtapes.
It was just like phenomenal hearing music like that. Underground, earthy, more earthy and robust. Yeah, not this cliche plastic. That all, because as a Asian like hip hop fan, like it's, you know, it's only what the radio gives you, you know. So you don't have like necessarily a community until I got to high school when I got to the East Bay.
It's
and
like
then,
Lyrics Born.
Yeah,
it was hard. Lyrics Born was hard.
So my friend Sean Ross was part of a group called Mystical Journeyman.
Yeah.
Was he part of? No, you know what? I think he was just really tight with Mystical Journeyman.
That was Tommy and Sunspot Jones.
That's right. Yeah, my bad. So he was just really cool with Mystical Journeyman, and he put me onto them, and because they had some weird music. Mystical Journeyman, they had this one song where it made me trip the fuck out, like some kind of like sample they did.
They
but anyway,
threw Broke Ass Summer Jam back in the day. I remember watching those DVDs. So
they had like the music in the park, basically, right? Like
that was in Berkeley. There was that too. I always wanted to be on one of those. Those were all my heroes, and they became my friends over the years. A lot of them, or at least acquaintances, and. Yeah, definitely. My sister put me on to like Atmosphere and AC Alone. She was like, my favorite song is Anna Lilia, oh Anna Lilia. Drunk at the bar when I met Anna Lilia. And then she put me on to like Grouch, Living Legends, Black Alicious. He took me on my first, Gift of Gab took me on my first tour on the East Coast, which was hella tight. I miss Gift of Gab, man. He passed. Due to health complications and stuff during COVID. Oh. Super sad.
Yeah.
And, he had diabetes and needed to get dialysis. He'd bang on the door at like 6 a.m. We'd be partying all night. And he'd be like, I need to get to the hospital. I will die, you know? And like, but really, he was my idol. And he was like the GOAT to me, you know? Living Legends. Me and Grouch are working on a project now. That's one of my best friends.
How'd you and Grouch meet? I know you guys.
Hawaii.
Okay.
I moved from the North Bay area to Maui to Kihei when I was in high school, and I was out there in hip hop groups and stuff like that. There weren't a lot of rappers in Maui. When Grouch moved there, we were all really excited about it, and I was outside of a bar. The promoter that was throwing the show, Douglas, he's like he brews ayahuasca and stuff. At the time.
What?
I haven't talked to him in a long time.
Like local ayahuasca?
Like, yeah, local ayahuasca. So he's a medicine man.
I heard about that,
yeah. Yeah, and it's powerful. And so I was like, oh, you got to put me on the Grouch show. You're throwing the show. I just was like rapping in his ear and like nonstop. And he was just like, you got razor blades on your tongue, bro. That's sharp. And he put me on the show. And then I was battling like addiction really hard at the time. I was drinking and doing all kinds of drugs. And I remember I was on the beach randomly, a beach that I never went to, and there was no one else on the beach. It was almost like a dream. And I remember getting a call from Douglas. I had like the Nokia block phone. And he was like, yo, I can't put you on this show because you're not conscious enough. And you rap about drugs and sluts and fighting. I was like a real battle rapper, MC. Like Ari the Rugged Man was like my favorite MC at the time.
A little bit more rough, yeah.
And and stuff like that, and like Jedi Mind Tricks and Wu-Tang, whatever. And so, but I was kicking it with conscious MCs, and I could do conscious stuff too. And I was a nice guy or whatever. And I like looked up, and I see, I was like, man, is that Grouch? And I walk up, and it was Grouch and his wife. Someone must have been watching Rio. I don't know if they're with their daughter. It was just them having like a beach day. And I was like, yo, I'm Pure. At the time, I wasn't going by Pure Powers. I was just going by Pure. I said, I'm Pure. And I just got put on the show up at Casanova's, which is up country. And Douglas just told me that I shouldn't be on the show, or he's telling me that I shouldn't be on the show because I'm not conscious enough of my music, and I'm like a battle MC, and he starts laughing, and he's like, bro, we've done shows with like all types of people. Like, he's like, are you gonna do a good job? I was like, yeah, of course. And I crushed it, you know.
So Grouch laughed when he heard that.
He was laughing, like, man, and he's like, and I think he put in the word, and then I didn't see him for a while. I went on like a dark road of addiction for a little bit, got sober, was living in California. And it was when First Fridays just started. I was living in Oakland behind Kaiser off MacArthur. And I was like, yo, I seen Grouch. And it's like, he's a celebrity, you know, and you see him like, on television.
Him and Sunspot, man. Those albums, yeah.
Totally. And I was just on tour with him. I took Sunspot's, I was doing Sunspot's job for half the tour, being the hype man, and he was on the other half. And that was a crazy experience, man. It wasn't my first run with the Grouch, but like we were, you know, on the run with Atmosphere. And also at the time, around when I did the Grouch show, I was really big into Iration. And this last tour was me, Grouch, and Iration, or it was me being
I haven't heard of Iration.
They're dope.
Okay.
Really dope. It's like this Hapa dude from the Big Island. Really tight music. And it's kind of like Cali vibe or domestic. Some call it white boy reggae, but like he's a Hapa dude, and it's just good music, man. Good music is good music.
I love that era, bro. The Grouch.
But yeah, so then I ran into him on Telegraph. I was like, yo, I just got Scarab. Shouts out to Scarab. I love Scarab so much. He was my first friend from Living Legends, and I still hold him very dear to my heart, you know. And I was like, yo, I got Scarab on this song. Grouch, I want to get you on the album. And he was like, I'm going to say no, but I'm going to say no just for now. He was like, you know, just work hard, and you're not quite there yet or whatever. I remember I used to tell Scarab, like, you think Grouch will like this song? You think he'll pull up to the show? Like, and Scarab be like, man, get off Grouch's dick, man. Like, he's just a human, you know? And but I admired his craft and so much, and he's like my big hero, my big bro, and it's really cool to be his friend and we're working on a project. I'm hoping it comes out.
You and Grouch, or you and Scarab?
Me and Grouch.
Okay.
And I want to do more music with Scarab. I haven't seen him in a minute, man. I should reach out to Scarab and make sure he's doing good. I'm sure he's doing good. They just played a 3 Melancholy Gypsies show recently, which is Eli from Grouch and Eli and Living Legends, and Merce. Merce and the Grouch have a project called These Hands. They just added a super talented MC out of LA named Reverie. And
so you're mixed in with these guys, and it's crazy you say that because these are like the hieroglyphics, and like these are like legends, man. Like they have their own day in Oakland, like the HEIRO day.
And speaking of HEIRO, how I got tapped back in where I'm at with Grouch now was I was doing tours with Dell and Domino, who I got introduced to by A+ of Souls of Mischief. I love Police. Shouts out to Souls of Mischief and Hieroglyphics. Just played HEIRO Day not that long ago. It was so hot that day. Oh my God. But yeah, I was doing these tours with Dell. We went out to Hawaii. I did a Iller Than Most tour where it's like a few different legs. And then Domino, I love Domingo, man. He's super cool. And he was always like just really down to earth and gave me some of my first like really cool plays and good looks, went out and played on the East Coast stuff. And he told Grouch, I remember I was trying to get into this show when Grouch Stole Christmas, it was Hieroglyphics and Living Legends. And I don't know if this is 2015 or 14 and 16 maybe. And then it was really cool because they're a couple of my favorite groups and my idols. And I was like, yo, can I get on the guest list? Everyone's trying to get on the guest list. And then Young Zymes. I don't know if you know Zymes.
I haven't heard of Young Zymes.
Zymes
is this more obscure or like?
Zymes.
Is he from the era?
Zymes is just another wiggler. He's like a D. Labrie. He's like, just does his things. It was him and Zenhao. They were in a group called Forensic Science, I think. And it was just like the old school cats were like, we idolized them and started opening up for them and stuff like that. And me and Zymes was like, yo, just walk with me. And we walked in. And then like I get in there and Grouch and Domino are like, how'd you get in here? Like you weren't even on the guest. Like pure, you're a wiggler. You know what I mean? And I'm like in the green room and backstage and shit like that. And so Grouch was like, and then I used to really be concerned. I made a lot of boom bap hip hop. I started making more.
What is boom bap?
Boom bap.
I know like
just
DJs
underground.
Tell me that, but like
underground.
Is that what the term is for
lyrical,
backpack?
It's lyrical miracle. Backpack.
Is that backpack?
It's
boom bap.
Boom
now?
bap is.
So boom bap is backpack. Hip-hop?
Boom bap is definitely backpack. Boom,
okay.
I call it lyrical miracle stuff, and the culture's it's not what
I got a client here, so I'm just texting them.
It's all good. It's not what it once was. I'm gonna text my girlfriend. She just said that. But yeah, it's not what it once was.
Okay, yeah, because was J. Cole considered like boom bap or
no? But he's like I wouldn't say so, but he's also not boom bap. He's so
conscious.
He's so lyrically talented and conscious, and he raps over hip hop beats. But he transcends that. He's also could be a pop artist because he's a hip hop artist. He's a rap artist. He's an icon. He's kind of like. I'd say like, Logic's really big. But there's people I was just watching.
Logic's one of the biggest right now, right?
He's big.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, I love Logic.
Who knows who's the biggest now? But, and Kendrick, they're conscious.
So like,
but Kendrick could be anything. He's not a gangster, but he even could be gangster rap mainstream. So all those guys could be considered mainstream. They all fill up arenas. They all play like the Oracle and stuff like that. And, but there's like this, I was watching this kid Token, who I met at a Team Backpack cypher years ago, and I've just seen him keep climbing, and he was spazzing on Sway. Went off for like 10 minutes, Sway just posting him. And there's a lot of dope, like Joey Badass.
Okay.
A current artist who's also could be considered boom bap or like just hip hop.
Right.
And hip hop was that's my true love. And where I really developed the passion where I just would work on writing bars every single day. And before I even knew how to write bars or count bars. And but then I started, I've also been inspired by reggae music, by rock, by dancehall for sure.
I love dancehall in Oakland. Like, dude, it's such an amazing music to get drunk to. Yeah, when you go to the Caribbean clubs and they're playing really good dancehall that you cannot hear on the radio from these DJs that are getting obscure Islander music, bro. And the high tempo, the R&B,
the energy,
tones,
sexual energy.
It's just amazing.
Where you really get it is when you go to the Yard, where they call it Jamaica. You go to Jamaica. You go to Kingston.
You've been to Jamaica before?
Yeah, I went like 3 times in a year right before COVID hit. And speaking of like getting out there and wiggling,
is the weed not that good?
It's not very good at all. But you're in Jamaica, so it's better. And at the time, I don't think I was smoking weed at the time.
Okay.
I was like, I didn't start smoking weed from 2010 to 2019. Then started smoking throughout COVID. Actually, just recently stopped smoking weed, like just earlier.
Really?
This month. Yeah,
I think I'm fighting that.
Yeah,
it's. Well, why did you stop?
I had this cloud on my head. My name's Pure Powers. Like, I saw so much improvement from when I was sober without anything, and I saw so much cool stuff happened. When I first got sober, that's actually Macklemore just came out.
Right.
I used to get compared to him a lot because I had the same Macklemore. I had the Macklemore. We're both Irish, and I had the same comb over, like the same like pompadour or whatever.
Moment.
Yeah, and I was, I could rap really fast. I love Macklemore.
Okay, dope. I like Macklemore too.
I liked him before he came out. I remember bumping his album like 5-6 years before he ever came out with The Other Side and his big breakthrough album, The Gold or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, whatever happened to Macklemore? He kind of sounded like Atmosphere, but he was different and he was
his
funny.
His whole city doesn't like him.
He was so sick. I don't know.
I mean, well,
who knows?
I guess it's
like the Mozzie effect. I don't know.
Krayshawn.
Who knows?
It was kind of like that.
Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, who cares? Like, there's people that obviously like him from the city, but I talked to a lot of artists from Seattle, and they're just like, "Don't say Macklemore as a
crazy."
And I'm just like, well, why not? He had a breakthrough. What are you talking about?
I mean, there's just crabs in a bucket and a bunch of haters.
That's what it is. When you have a region that doesn't,
that's gonna happen. And if you don't bring every single person that you ever knew. If you don't bring up every single person you ever knew, then you turned Hollywood.
You do that? How can you
know
do
what I'm
that?
saying?
I don't think you should do that.
And it's not like they put you on. And
facts.
But like I met his boy Experience. Did a show with him. Super talented dude. I think he's still doing some tours with him. And I was really inspired by him a lot because he got sober, and then I've seen so many people die. There's like Mac Miller, and Mac Miller came out right around the same time, and he was so young and advanced. He was another hip hop.
Miller, man.
He was another hip hop MC.
People love Mac Miller,
dude. And he also was able to evolve and change his style.
Yeah. I like Mac Miller.
I love Mac Miller. And
there's a certain authenticity to him, and I
really,
that word's
really
overused.
And he was able to like pull Ariana Grande. Like that's impressive.
Did he pull Ariana Grande?
Yeah, that's from what I understood, he got like really depressed over it when.
Can I Google that?
Dude, that's common. That is like everyone.
Mac Miller
pulls
knows. Ariana Grande.
Bro, they were like a thing before whoever.
Okay, shared the song on Instagram, so they were sharing
They were
songs
totally together. They were totally together. Big time. She broke his heart, from what I understood.
Ariana go to Mac's funeral? That's one of Google's most.
Damn, that's sad. That's another thing that, like, I'm afraid to be that famous, man.
Because that's what they're going to ask about
That's
you.
a lot, man.
Yeah.
And the microscope is on you so hard, especially when you consider yourself a conscious person. Like, I'm far from perfect, and I have, like, a crazy past, too. So I'm like, it's tough.
Well,
it's tough when
I think it's the timing because it's not a slow transition. It's just bap, bap.
It just hits.
And it's right there, and it's all right, and you've been building up all this time, and all these people doubted you and never gave you credit, and then all of a sudden it just hits. And then you feel a little undeserving, I hear. You know what I mean?
I
don't know. I don't know either.
I just want the right size of fame. Like, can I just, you know what I'm saying?
Want to like turn the meter up and down?
Can I turn it on? Can I still go to Whole Foods? And can I pack venues?
No.
I want to be able to go to Whole Foods, and I want to be able to pack venues. I want to be able to buy. I want to be able to send my kids to college and buy a house with my music and my platform.
I think the toughest thing is like they have to stay the superstar guy, right? Like I talk to artists that aren't necessarily making money now that were from the hype or whatever, and like I own this studio, but I also like Uber and do shit like that, and they look at me like, "I'll do some shit like that for some extra cash," but I can't. Because it's someone like, oh man, this guy's Ubering, I'm like, so it's like you can't make certain moves anymore.
Tyga showed his dick to the internet. That he did OnlyFans, and he would say Tyga showed his dick. I got so much information for you, man. I
mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, girls do it all the time, so why can't we do it? Like, isn't that equal sexism or something like that?
My girlfriend, we weren't together at the time. She was like, "Oh, I show mine."
I don't know people would pay.
Yeah, I've shown mine for free.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know people would pay. I don't know people would subscribe, but I'll show it.
Probably got blocked for it. I don't know.
OnlyFans is such an interesting platform.
I think it's a cool one
for women.
They're trying for women, men, whatever,
and
cooks
content
or whatever. I think they're trying to like expand so it's not just sex based.
Yeah, like music, an artist, you could present their music as a perfect platform for like Kanye West or something like that.
Pornhub puts music videos up now.
Porn's on Twitter. I find that interesting. I don't know if you've seen that, but like I noticed that
Twitter.
Like there's porn on Twitter.
I'm not a good Twitterer, but
Twitter's kind of dead, right?
I think Twitter is the tried and true. It will always be here. It's like a cockroach, but cooler.
What's your go-to?
Instagram is where I get my endorphins from. It's where I get my.
You gotta get on TikTok.
TikTok is really where it's at, and I'm like, I feel like fucking, I'm like, want to throw my phone because I can't figure it out. Or the worst part about TikTok is they show you who watched your shit and didn't like it. And I start building resentment. I'm like, how come I got 6 likes on this?
Did they do that?
I got 248 views and 5 likes. I was like, man, and no comments.
Yeah.
So I'm not lit on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. Help me become lit on TikTok.
TikTok's interesting. You have to do more reels and present your lifestyle.
That's the thing. The game doesn't change. Like when we're, when I was a fan, if you had a shrunk wrap CD, you were lit, kind of like you were kind of doing it. It was like a status, if you had like an actual CD you're putting out,
yeah.
And they're like, whoa, okay, he's a somebody. And then you start opening up for bigger names. Now you got to do a fucking TikTok dance. You got to like be a comedian. I got to have like my hat this way, and then I'll pop out the camera and have it this way. And I'm like talking to myself, I'm like,
oh yeah, they're talking to yourself.
You're talking to yourself. You put on glasses. And
the 5 best websites people should know about. And they're like, what?
And
it sucks, right?
And then when you're a grown up and you have grown up bills, and you're like, oh man,
it's so tough to do a reel.
I don't live in my mom's house. I can't do 5 TikToks a day, and they reward consistency. And so
they do, yeah.
It's a whole new thing now. But now there's YouTube Shorts. Now Facebook's trying to have a comeback. They just said that they're going to allow titties on there, and they're doing reels. And then
there's no way. There's no way Facebook is going to allow. I gotta Google
it's Meta.
This, bro.
It's Meta. Please do.
Facebook is not going to allow titties on Facebook.
I'm telling you, Facebook.
What is Mark Zuckerberg?
Aunties and uncles want to see titties too, and they're trying to keep up. You have to keep evolving. Like Snapchat had like the stories, and then their Instagram used to not have the stories.
Well, so Instagram is lifting the ban on bare breasts for trans and non-binary.
What? Only trans titties?
Yeah, that's a little strange.
That's not right.
Facebook to allow pictures of naked breasts for trans and non-binary people only.
What?
So I don't
I
get
think men
that.
could probably have their shirts off.
Because if you go on TikTok, there's a bunch of women that show themselves breastfeeding, which I find very interesting.
It's a thing.
Yeah,
it's a flex.
so that kind of opens into that.
It's a big flex.
I mean, this might be a clip. Why would Facebook only allow you to see titties from transgender women? Like,
it's trippy,
real?
dude.
They're not even real titties.
They got the fake ones. They're perfect.
Is that why? Because they're not real?
It won't. I wonder if you can make like fake titties with stretch marks and stuff like that. You're like, give me
that's art.
Give me the mom titties.
That's a really good doctor if he can just give you some
sag
natural stretch. Yeah,
like
gotta pay extra for the stretch marks.
Messed up areolas and stuff. You know what I mean? But no, I don't know that. I don't think that's really fair. They've probably been dealing with things that aren't fair. There's a fine line between, understanding, getting bullied. Bullies, people get bullied and then they want to be bullies.
Yeah.
That's you can't group. It's hard to group all the people in. It's like being like, oh, white people or whatever, or like Asian people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like gay, straight. Like I was talking to a friend today and I said something about like, I was like, like women. I was like, I've had experience. I had to correct myself. I was like, I've had experiences with women that instead of being like, how bitches are. They're like that. You can't, men are the worst. Women are the worst. It's like human beings are the worst.
Human beings are pretty fucking evil.
You know what I mean? Or they're just
pretty horrible.
They're
pretty beautiful too,
This is what happens when you get gifted your free will and you could do whatever you want. You're going to make mistakes and you're going to be a jackass. You're going to make an ass of yourself. You know what I mean? And a lot of times never even notice it.
I know what makes good artists is the fact that you can take away your embarrassment. I think really good artists and people who do show entertainment are good at that because I think that's what most people think are afraid of. Yeah, just being embarrassed, bro, which is natural. I don't get it because I think at some point in my life I just told myself I'm not gonna be embarrassed no more.
Gotta go. It's hard though. It's hard to not be embarrassed. It's like you see the hot chick and you say something totally
that
dumb.
Is very hard. That's still pretty hard.
Or you're trying to be cool on a job and you just fuck up, or you're on stage and forget your bars. It's hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
I've been there.
It's hard to. Yeah, you used to make music.
Yeah, I did. Right? I mean, it's fun. It's fun. When I did when I was an artist. I just chose not to because I like the back end of this stuff too, like the interviewing you.
I love that about you, man.
Yeah.
There's not enough people like that want to support the culture.
Yeah, no.
You're able to be
I loved
it
that much.
You're a part of it. and you're like, I don't know how. That's like my boy Starsky from Chef Boys, who I make 90-something% of my music with.
That's dope.
Been one of my best friends. He's one of the most talented producers and engineers,
shout out
beatmakers
Starsky,
in the game. And Josiah, those guys, I introduced them too. I was like, I don't have time to be either one of your friends full time. You guys should meet. They became best friends.
That's cool. That's what I like about the music business. That's what I like about the music industry.
They both were rappers. They both were rappers. That's why they always tell me my shit sucks, and they're always trying to write my bars for me. No, you need to write this. No, you need to say it like that. But they will, they both were rappers, and Josiah's, like, his beats were super tight. Starsky's production and his as a producer, super tight. I put them together, and it was just like,
isn't that beautiful?
And
connecting people
so
like
now,
that.
but they're involved. They're involved in the culture and in the game without having. It's a lot of less pressure to be like, here, you be the front guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't fuck up.
Yeah.
You pay for everything.
Yeah.
You go out, you know what I mean? You go out there and fall on your face. You be the asshole. And so I'm like, sure, yeah, because I feel like I was put here to do something. And I'm working with younger artists that I truly believe in, and I'm helping them develop. Shouts out to my man Happy, really talented young gentleman, and there's so much talent, and I would just want to be the person that I never had in this. I've got taken advantage so many times, so many people be like, I believe in you. It's like the people trying to write articles for you or get you verified on Instagram. They're like, dope shit, how long you been making music? Man, I want to write an article about you. So it's just going to cost this much. And you're like, wait, what? Like, I thought you thought I was dope and you want to write an article about me. What? It sounds like you're just trying to massage my ego so I can pay you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate it.
It's a little slimy.
It is, and I don't blame them. Everyone's just trying to get work, and it's like LinkedIn for musicians and models and stuff like that.
That is true.
It's also like a dating site.
That is true. I get a lot of DMs too about crypto and shit like that.
Yeah, a lot of, or like, need cover art. DM fam, get a blue check. Hit me today.
Or the blue check.
Dude, I actually got for, I had a song with Scarab from Living Legends and Zumbi. Rest in peace, another legend I grew up listening to, became a friend of mine before he passed, and I had a song with them, and it was gonna be, and I think Z-Man. A song with Scarab and Z-Man. I love Z-Man, the Crumb of the Bay, and then I had another song with Grouch and Zion I. I wanted to do
Zion I, man. Oh, my RIP Zion I too.
He was the first person to bring me up on stage after I opened up for him and gave me the mic. I was like, let's rap together. Like, that was a magic moment.
He's so cool.
He's all about the cipher and including people.
Yeah.
Everything he'd say was like a question, man. You sure? And I love Zumbi, man. We miss Zumbi so much.
Yeah, he was on the pod before that happened. I think it was his last interview before he. Yeah. I remember my guy Nut brought him on.
Dude, shouts out to Nut.
And then like 2 months later, he was gone, and I didn't want to like over publicize the podcast because of that. It just felt kind of slimy, right?
Damn it.
So I was just like, but it's still up there. But I didn't like over sell out content. I was just like,
Yeah, it's sad, man. It's truly sad. And I just ran a Deuce Eclipse at the Grouch and HEIRO show at the New Parish. And it's like when someone that's a mutual friend passes. Yeah. I've noticed this a lot. It brings the two mutual friends closer.
Absolutely.
I just hugged him.
Yeah.
I just hugged him and held him and was like, I love you, dude. Like, good seeing you. It's trippy. We're all connected, man. Whether we like to believe it or not, we're all connected through this.
Separation is 6 degrees, isn't that what they say, or something like that?
That's Kevin Bacon. Yeah. Kevin Bacon came up with that.
Separation is 6 degrees, like everyone knows each other.
Google that.
Well, I think it's like a theory, but I think they did the research and it's not true. Yeah, but
it's more like 10. It's like 19 degrees. But like Nump. So check it. Nump became best friends with my best friend in Hawaii, who I used to promote clubs with in Waikiki. His name's Nugget. And when I got arrested in Oahu and I dipped, and I was like, I fell asleep like in my neighbor's car. I didn't know my neighbor. I was like wasted and had like a pocket full of fizz and shrooms and weed and shit. And I was like, oh man, I really fucking screwed the pooch on this one. And Nump, after I left to Maui where I met Grouch, Nump and Nugget became good homies, and we used to bump like I Got Grapes and the remix and stuff in the club. Like we'd have like a little hyphy section. It was like the tail end of the hyphy, era, but they still would play it in the clubs because I'd like play some Bay Area shit.
Yeah.
And because I wouldn't be who I am today without the Bay Area and Hawaii. It's
wow. It seems like there's a connection there with the Bay Area and Hawaii.
A lot of Polynesians out here, a lot of Filipinos.
A lot of Filipinos, Japanese
South
Americans,
Bay.
Japanese Hawaiians.
Yep.
Yeah. I love Hawaii. They're very immersed in Bay Area rap, it seems like, too, because a lot of people that go out there that play football, too, for University of Hawaii.
That could be it.
Yeah.
And Oahu more so than the other islands. I mean, now it's easier to find the music online, streaming platforms. That's why, reggaeton, Afrobeat, dancehall, all these are bigger than they've ever been because you used to have to go to a record store and dig and see what you
Amoeba
find.
Records
or even if you
Rasputin's.
had Napster or LimeWire where you could download, you had to know what to look up. If someone wasn't putting you on and saying, look up this, you didn't know. Now there's all this stuff and you're all connected through this web and all these, online, all these apps and stuff. So now they're bigger than they've ever been, you know what I mean? And I love it. I'm all for it. Like the Afrobeat stuff was huge. I was in Colombia, speaking of like the D. Labrie wiggle. I was going out. I went to Colombia, go back and forth to Hawaii, Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, just really getting out there and wiggling.
Turks and Caicos, where is that? I've heard of that. It's a really luxury spot, right?
It's a Caribbean island.
Okay.
It's where me and my girl went on our first. Before we weren't sure like if we was gonna really like become a couple or not, we went out to the Turks and Caicos. It was like
nice.
It's kind of reminds me of that Drake line, piece of cake, Turks and cake, something like that. But it's blowing up. We went to a more quiet island, as where Providenciales is the more poppin', more turned into like a little Miami island. And I definitely want to go back there and visit that. Nice. I love tropical places, man.
I haven't been to many. Yeah. Tell me about it. I haven't even been to Hawaii, so I wouldn't know.
You have to go to Hawaii. You would fit in there well. For real, you look like you could be.
People ask me are you Filipino or Hawaiian? I'm like, no, I'm Korean.
They got great Korean. There's this place called Yummy's at the mall, and it was like a chain, but they had the best food, man. I love Korean food, Korean barbecue.
They have a lot of that in Hawaii?
Oh, yeah.
They eat a lot of spam.
A lot of spam.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of spam.
Did you eat spam out there?
I did when I first got there. I quit eating pork when I was living in Oahu. I was hanging out with a bunch of Muslim homies. Like
I told you about it.
And they was like, bro, I was always hungover. So I was like, oh, I'm sick, man. I don't feel good. They're like, man, you need to cut the pork out, bro. And they're like, some of the only black dudes on the island, they all kicked it at this barbershop. And I'd go kick it with them. And they'd be like, man, I smoke weed with them, whatever. They'd be like, man, you got to cut out pork.
Did that help?
I cut out pork for like 6 months.
Did that
and
help?
I got hella high. And my homies were making like Kahlua pig. It's like the best thing ever. It's just like shredded pork. It just melts in your mouth.
That's where they cook the pig in the dirt, right?
Yeah, underground.
The emu, you called it?
It's an emu.
It's an emu.
Yeah.
What's an emu
Emu
specifically?
is they dig a hole. I believe it's like wrapped with tea leaves. I know lao lao is like this pork that you can make it out of anything, but traditionally it's pork with these tea leaves, and it's just like melts in your mouth stuff. So I was hella high, and I hadn't ate it in a long time, and I ate a bunch of it. I started breaking out in hives, and I was like, whoa! Like I stopped eating it then, and then whenever I eat pork, I just kind of don't feel that good. I know bacon's great, and people are like, I don't eat pork, but I can't stop eating bacon. Or like pepperoni. I know pepperoni's fire. I can't
do bacon because there's not a lot there. It's just like a little strip. You bite into it. That's what I don't like about bacon.
I can't do it.
I love spam, but I can't do it.
We used to mop it up with just maple syrup. You just cook it, fry it, maple syrup. I mean, spam can do anything, and it's cheap. They call them spam musubis. It's like a block of rice with seaweed wrapped around.
Yeah.
But now, I didn't eat pork, beef, or chicken for like 8 years.
Just
pescatarian. I liked it a lot, and my girl now, she cooks meat, so and I was taking her out. We were going out to like sushi, and she'd get like some wagyu, or we go to steakhouses.
Love
and
wagyu.
eventually, like I was like, you know what? Like, let me get a bite of that, and it just melted in my mouth. And I was like, okay,
I don't want to ruin it, but I guess like American wagyu is like American wagyu. It's actually not like even close to the real wagyu, because I guess in Japan, they wouldn't give out wagyu. So like I guess it's like a genetic thing.
Yeah.
So like the wagyu we have here is not anything close to the Japan genetic wagyu.
I want to go to Japan so bad. My little brother lives out there. He teaches English.
Yeah, my ex-wife is from out there.
Man, I want to go. I know how to say I'm having a party. Good evening. My name's Pure Powers. I'm having a party. Please come in Japanese. That's about all I know.
That's cool.
And thank you.
The food is really cleaner than like Korean food. That's what I know. When she would cook, it would taste just very healthy.
Yeah.
Clean.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Dude.
Like, and Korean food has all this salt in it, and all this salt and soy sauce and all this shit. Like,
so fire though.
Japanese food is fire.
I like the potatoes that the Koreans cook. They got like
what potatoes?
It's potatoes and it has like mayonnaise on it or something.
Really?
I'm not usually even a big fan of mayonnaise, but the way that they do it.
I love
wild.
Mayonnaise.
It's so good. I really like elotes that's got the corn.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, those are good elotes.
I love Latin food too, man. My girl, she's Chinese and Mexican, so I get like the best of both worlds.
It's kind of like, I mean, a taqueria is like you can't hit. There's nothing that like doesn't hit.
Yeah, we're lucky to be in California for that specific reason.
Filipino food too.
Filipino smacks. They eat some mangy shit though.
They do eat some mangy shit, and like, so I went out with a friend recently, and they were eating this pork, like you said, and I couldn't believe it because it was just like skin and fat.
Yeah,
and it gave me a rush. Pure, I was like, my blood was whoosh, I don't know, and I got hot, and I'm like, what is that? Like, I didn't feel good.
Like balut. I once ate dog at a Filipino barbecue.
Really?
I ate dog. They told me it was deer, but it's like they don't really. They always mess with the white people out there, so it's like
I don't think it was dog.
They're laughing. I swear to God, it was dog.
They said it was dog.
It was dog, and I felt really dirty and weird afterwards. But I ate hella of it. I was high, and
you ate a lot of it.
I ate a lot of it. It was bomb. It tasted really good, but it also kind of made me feel like I was like about to break out in hives. Like
they say what kind of dog?
No, black dog. Black dog, that one. I know how to say stupid white boy. I'd hear that a lot. And Bostos Prau. Ay, Maria Joseph. That one. Ay, sus.
Filipino women.
Shouts out to Filipinos, man. I love
Filipinos. Love their women too. But
I want to go to the Philippines.
Stay away.
My boy Breed, he just got back from the Philippines. Another super talented artist who's in our camp, and he's black and Filipino. He went out there. And he was recording out there, man. I really
love the hip hop community, right? The little boom back community.
I want to go. I want to go all over there. I mean, I've done a good amount of traveling. I just feel like I've only seen the tip of the iceberg. You know.
Sound like you're very well traveled.
Got to, man. You got to go out there and get it. You know what I mean? I was born in a really small town.
Where were you born?
Occidental, California. It's West Sonoma County in the North Bay.
Occidental?
The 70 Schmevin. Yeah, Occidental. Not the college down in the SoCal, but it's a tiny little town. You blink and you miss it. And I was actually born at my dad's house. He still has the house.
It's a small town.
Very small town.
What is that like?
My father's from New York. My father's from New York. My mom's from Sac. And my dad would always be like, "Don't be a big fish in a small pond. You got to get out there." I just remember him like poking me in the chest.
Good advice,
he'd come home, get drunk, and he'd be like, "You could be anything you want to be when you grow up." And I'd just be like, whoa. And I remember like kicking on my friend back, "Yo, you know what my dad said? I could do anything. We could do anything we want to do when we grow up. Like, what should we do?"
That's a New York mentality.
And I think it's important that everyone, let alone the youth, knows that you can be anything you want to be when you grow up. Yeah. And it's not supposed to be easy. That's the beauty of it all. It's
never is. What's easy? I mean, what is easy?
And even not doing shit ain't easy, because then you're like, damn,
I get bed sores.
I ain't doing shit. Yeah, I ain't doing shit, man.
You're not doing shit.
It hurts, and then you see people and you're like, why are they doing shit? They can't do that. They shouldn't. That's whack.
I think that one quote got me is when like an old guy said, like, you don't want to be old with regrets.
No, man.
I was like, yeah, that sounds so sad.
I mean, at the same time, like,
it's easy to get caught up. You gotta
be willing to fail.
Yeah.
You gotta be willing to fail. And I made a lot of mistakes on this journey, and they've all brought me to where I'm at now. And so that's what I've realized. You know, I've had an amazing journey.
Yeah.
And leveled up so many times, because all I could see is where I want to be. It's hard for me to be like, whoa, this is tight. Like, you know, me and the Grouch are making a project now. He was one of my idols, you know, and I was like, man,
that's a win.
All this cool stuff has happened so many different times. You know, like the Gift of Gab, Zumbi, all these dudes that are like, the relationships and the experiences that I've had.
Those are wins.
And the family, the friends that I consider my family now, you know what I mean? Like, taking my camera guy, Evan Croker is my roommate. We went to Japan. Like, He thought we were gonna get robbed the whole time.
In Japan?
No, I mean in Jamaica.
Oh, okay. That doesn't sound right. There's no crime in Japan. I'm like, what?
Yeah, there's the Yakuza, right? But no, we're in Jamaica, and it was like there was only one time where I was like, wait, are we gonna get robbed? But we were out there with respected people, and so you want to make sure when you go places that you pay respect, go with people that know the area and know people, and that can protect you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or there's like when we were in Colombia, it was wild too. He was trying to get back in, and I thought they were trying to get me to go out and party. I left him outside the condo all night, and he like slept in the doorway. He had to leave the airport. But like there's the narcos. I was actually just watching this and reiterating.
I've been watching a lot of narco podcasts lately.
They were talking about it on Joe Rogan.
Oh, El Calderon.
They were talking about how
El Calderon podcast.
They got rid of El Chapo and his son, and now there's a even worse regime that's going to take the place because you take out the competition, there's going to be other people. And the thing about the respectful narcos, drug sales is their business. And so they want to have successful business. So if someone is stealing purses, stealing iPhones, and kidnapping people on the street, no people from America want to go there and try their blow. Right. They're going to be afraid to go there. I don't want to get a Colombian necktie. And so when I was there, everyone in Medellin was really, really respectful, really peaceful, and they knew that the narcos would cut their hand off or whatever, punish them if they try to do some fuck shit, Or
did you hear about the Asian kid that died out there?
No,
dude. So he went with his friend because his friend goes to Colombia, I guess every 4 or 5 years, right? And so this Asian kid went with him, and this Asian kid went on Tinder. So Tinder brings up the locals, and so I guess he got hooked up with some Colombian chick, and so they met at a bar, and the last picture was him showing the girl who that girl was, and then he ended up dying. He was dead. He found dead 2 streets over, and it's just the police don't care. And so the sister's trying to get his body flown over.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I'm just
so sad. I wonder what part was it in Medellin?
It was in Medellin.
That's amazing.
Which is a big city, though,
It's an amazing city.
It's a big city, right?
One of the best weeks of my life. And it's up in the mountains.
Okay.
The one thing they could use more water. I like being next to water. This is up in the mountains, but amazing,
water out there.
Amazing people. Everyone's so nice.
Would you a little sus being out there though, right?
I was the white guy with a camera. They all liked me because they thought I was super rich. So which maybe in comparison I really was at the time. And also all the girls are really friendly because they want to get that ticket to come back and maybe become someone's wife.
And how are the girls
I have
there?
Friends. Oh my God, they're A1.
They're beautiful.
Some of the best in the world.
Colombians are beautiful.
Some of the best in the world, and they're really nice. And that's what it is. I didn't even speak any Spanish. I'm now on day 75 streak of Duolingo. I'm pretty proud of that. Learning my Spanish.
Nice.
I love Latin culture, and that's when I watched the docuseries of
Pablo Escobar.
Nah, it was Nicky Jam.
Oh, Nicky Jam. Okay.
Nicky Jam, dude.
What was Nicky Jam about?
Nicky Jam, he's kind of he came up with Daddy Yankee, but he was in the streets. And Daddy Yankee, they had a falling out. Daddy Yankee went the clean route, and then he was in the streets in Puerto Rico. But Medellin actually blew him up. There was
the documentary's called Nicky Jams.
Yeah, it's called How Can I Know? It's The Champion.
The Champion.
And
on Netflix.
But it's in Spanish, and I think it's on Netflix now.
Okay.
At the time, it was only on Latin Netflix. I just saw something bad on the internet about his wife saying his girlfriend saying he beats her. She's a big model too, saying some foul shit about Nicky. I was like, oh, Nicky, no, not you.
Well, they're trying to get
because I love him, man.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what the truth is?
Maybe it's true, maybe it's not.
There's multiple sides of every story, but who knows? And I've never met him personally. I just really liked his music and J Balvin, and he kind of helped. I think J Balvin.
You know about J Balvin?
Oh my God, I love J Balvin. I saw him at the Civic Center with my ex. That was
I gotta say, Latin music is the hottest genre right now.
Big man, Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
He's on his goat shit right now.
Anuel
is really doing it.
Really
doing it. Farruko. A lot of good ones, man.
Well, the music sounds really good, and
so sexy.
The women that support the music is just incredible. The energy, like, because I've been a promoter, so I've been to these venues where they're throwing salsa night that night or Latin night, and it's so much fun.
But yeah, I'm actually about to drop my first reggaeton track on Friday before Valentine's Day.
Nice.
I believe that's the 10th.
What's the song called?
It's called Te Amo.
Te Amo.
Which means I love you. And it's with this super talented Dominican artist based out of Miami. His name is Manny Malone.
Okay.
Shouts out to Manny. Appreciate you, man.
Shout out Manny.
It's dope. And the crazy shit, I actually got the beat in Colombia from this producer named Yannick.
What?
And who I just met. I met him at a club. And,
in Colombia?
And he, like, I used to wear this big kukui nut, which is a Hawaiian kind of lei, and it had like a wire wrap on it. And it was like one of these like bromance, and like we were like, he was like, oh, like Chilo, like the necklace is dope, and I was like, oh, like I like your style's dope too, like no homo, you're just tight, and I typed in, where can I get clothes? I'm shooting a music video.
Google Translate,
and he was
right?
like, yeah. And he was like, oh, we make music too. Go to the mall, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, okay. And I checked him out. He didn't have many streams at all. His Yannick's friend, Jay Camille. And we ended up linking up at the studio. And I didn't speak any English. They don't speak any English. I don't speak any Spanish. And so I had to call my homie down, and he translated the session, my buddy Carlos from Mexico. And we did a song there. Then I got the beat. And I was like, man, I need to get this beat. I want to support him. Bought some beats off him. Came back, and I was like, yo, let's write to this. We had an intern at the Grill. Shout out to the Grill in Emeryville, and legendary studio in Oakland. And that's where me and Starsky used to cook at. And I was like, we had an intern there from Spain, and he helped me write a bilingual verse. The way that people speak Spanish in Spain, it kind of has like a lisp, from what I understand.
Right.
And so my homie from Mexico, he helped me kind of make it maybe more universal. And so actually I need to go back through and translate it all. I'm pretty sure I could translate the song and tell you what each bar is about. It's about, meeting a girl, maybe in the club, and it's just off of a vibe, and you're like, I don't know if it's too soon to say this, but like, I love you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if there's such a thing as love at first sight. But
no, I've seen it.
This is it.
I fell in love a lot of times.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what this song's about. Love at first sight. It's called Te Amo, and it drops real soon here. Shouts out to Manny Malone.
It's amazing when you see a girl and she just catches your guard like that. Like, whoa, that girl's freaking.
So many beautiful humans in this world. So many beautiful.
It kind of is ridiculous. You know, I just heard there was this guy, this Japanese soldier, when his plane went down in World War II. Something like, no. Sorry, it was a dad in the Vietnamese War, and he took his 2-year-old son into the forest because Vietnam was in a war, and he stayed there for 40 years. They lived in the forest with his 2-year-old son, right? So his 2-year-old son ends up becoming like 40. He's never seen a woman. He goes back into society, and
wait, how did he never see a woman?
Because his dad took him when he was 2 into the forest because this huge war was going on in Vietnam when the Americans came through. So he went and hid, with his son, and in the part of the place they weren't fighting at. And so, for 40 years he lived in a forest. 40, and then he just got reintroduced to society like a little while ago.
Whoa. I wonder if he never jacked off or anything like that. Like, was he,
I know, because you're just hooking up with trees. Yeah, like what? Because he didn't know there was his dad instinct. Didn't tell him about women. So as far as he knew, there was no woman because he never met his mom. And so his dad just didn't tell him it was women. And like there was only like 5 people they'd ever seen in his life.
This is mind blowing.
And 5 people were just like people who like they were hiding from, that would kind of go in the area, but they were all men. Wow. So he never saw, because there's not a lot of women people who hike deep into a forest. That's on
like Netflix?
I forget. I heard the story on Joe Rogan's podcast, but it was just like, whoa. Like, can you imagine?
So he was like, that's what this thing's
never
for.
Seeing a
it's
woman.
Got
and you're at 40. You're at 40. Because
you do what with this
That's
thing?
what I'm saying. Like, when you see a girl, it's kind of breathtaking at times. You're like, whoa, that girl's like, whoa, it hits your body. And so I'm just imagining, like, damn, you've never seen a woman, and you just see one. And you see another one. You see another one. Like, you're probably falling in love like every fucking time you're seeing
He's
one.
heterosexual, I take it.
Maybe he's not. Maybe he turned. I don't know. I want to Google that story and look into it more and
interesting.
See,
I want to go to Vietnam too.
Yeah, Vietnam's a beautiful place.
I love the food. I love the style of the massage.
Women are, oh my God. Well, Thai. I love the Thai massage.
Thai massage is amazing.
Thai massage is even more amazing.
Super
I felt
dope.
like.
Super dope.
I try to get a Thai massage once a month. I never gotten a Swedish massage ever.
Oh my God, you got to try it.
Yeah.
Deep tissue, Swedish massage. It's fire.
Which is very important for your health.
You know, health is wealth. That's for sure, man. Taking care of ourselves is so important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, because you travel a lot to perform, so isn't that like a hell on your health, like eating out and all that?
I just go nonstop, anyways. No matter where I'm at, I'm driving around. I'm just constantly on the grind, and so it's like, yeah, definitely want to take care of myself. My father, had me doing. He was like a health nut in the gym, and he had me doing, push-ups, eating salads.
Yeah.
I played basketball, soccer. Switched to football in high school.
Love basketball.
Man, I thought that was gonna be my ticket. I was in Occidental. I was typing for a small town kid. I wanted to live in the city because I could go play with the black kids that were better than me. You know what I mean? I wanted to be in the hood, and I was in this I didn't realize how fortunate I had it up in Sonoma County. It's such a paradise up there. But I just wanted to be around people that were better.
Were there black people in Occidental?
One, two.
Did he play basketball?
He wasn't good at it. Because, I don't know. He was,
I'm not laughing. That's horrible. It's just funny because there's a joke out there when there's only one black kid and you think he's good at basketball.
You're right. You totally would think that. Or hey, you rap,
Jerome,
ignorant
you
to rap?
Think that, but
super ignorant.
Yeah.
That's the thing where people don't even realize.
I get asked math questions.
People don't realize. Yeah,
I don't know any.
People don't realize they're being racist or ignorant without they don't know it.
Yeah, well, I
don't feel that way. I got a friend. It's very true, man.
It's instilled in both cultures. Black, coming from an Asian person, black people, they both have it. I've both been cussed out by both, racially.
I feel like I'm really lucky that I moved to Hawaii where I was a minority in high school. And people didn't like me for how I looked.
You have a humbleness about you, bro.
They didn't like me for how I talked. They, you know what I'm saying? They and if you're they call me a haole or whatever, I'll call myself a haole, whatever. But it's different if I call myself it. And so and that means, soulless, breathless.
A haole?
Being a haole. And granted, white people back in the day did super messed up stuff, and it's still going on out there.
Chinese did too.
Wherever there's oppression, there's going to be generational trauma, and so racism is taught. You know what I mean? It's learned. And so it's in the South where you got hillbillies being you're better than them people, they're worthless or whatever. And, and it's got the people white people don't trust cops, or whatever it is. Or or in Hawaii, it's yo, these white people came and they took what's ours so you could take whatever you want from them. You know what I'm saying? They're not your friends. You fuck them up when you see them type stuff. Being the last white kid at a party, and I like to go out, and I wasn't my mom wanted me to go to private school. She was a school teacher. That's how we ended up going out there. They flew us out there. We didn't have much money. So I didn't have money growing up. I wasn't a rich white kid at all. I was in Sonoma County where I saw a lot of people who had money, and I had none. I was, you know what I mean? But I also saw people that were in, the trailers that even had less than we had. We had no food in the fridge. My mom, God bless her heart, but getting the power turned off and just having nothing, hand-me-down clothes and stuff. But it's not like I had nothing, but it's how it felt then. You know what I mean? But I'm thankful because I had to have game. I had to be able to talk the rich girl in the lunch line to buy me a cinnamon bun and a hot chocolate at break, and then lunch and then candy. You know what I mean?
Girls doing that.
You know what I'm saying?
Certain girls like doing shit like that. Certain girls are hopeful men are broke, that they are finding attractive to.
And that's why Macs are Macs. You know what I mean? And that's where the game comes from. You know what I mean? You got to get it somewhere where there's no money. You know what I mean? They're okay, well, we could sell sex. Sounds that's you didn't back to the OnlyFans thing. You know what
Sounds
I'm saying?
You didn't grow up soft, but that's what kind of makes people, man. I don't know anyone that it's a
golden handcuffs.
Yeah, a successful son. I never hardly see that.
It's rare to have a cool one. There's I would like to hang out with what's his name, goofy ass dude, Chet Hanks. He's Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Chet's kind of cool.
He seems cool.
He's rapid. He has rap
weird.
songs, right?
He's funny.
Yeah.
Some people say he's crazy. I think it's pretty funny. And he goes to the yard a lot. He goes to Jamaica. He speaks full patois. That guy.
Really?
Yeah. He loves the chocolate sauce for sure.
Chet's a trip.
And he loves the beautiful black queens. And you know what I mean? And Yeah, you gotta love. I love just getting out all cultures. I feel like maybe, I feel like maybe if there's such a thing as reincarnation, this sounds hella funny, but maybe I've been other races or whatever, and I've hated white people, and now my karma is to come back as a white dude who's infatuated with indigenous and urban. Am I allowed to say that? Urban culture. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel, who knows? But I just feel like also I'm lucky that I got to be a minority because I got to know what it feels like for people to just hate you for how you look and where you come from, and they don't know anything about you, but they just know that they don't like you. And I just wanted to be friends with people, you know what I mean? And quickly learn the difference between a Micronesian, a Filipino, a Tongan, a Samoan, you know what I mean? Learn what a Hapa was, you know, learn what
Have you done the 23andMe yet? Have you done that?
No. I did it, and they sent it back. I think they're cloning me right now. They're like, this dude is part leprechaun, or like definitely some alien energy. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know, they say we all came from Mars, made in a test tube. But
I believe that.
It could be. And
then just
you know
sprouted in Africa, which makes a lot of sense.
So I'm thankful for that experience because it gave me compassion. Now, not all Hawaiians are like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that just have pure aloha, and they just want to show you their culture. They want to show
pure aloha.
Yeah, that's the next. I got chills. That's the next album title.
That a thing?
I got aloha tattooed. Like, it means hello, I love you, goodbye. That's why I got it right above my junk. That's a joke, but
I didn't know because I didn't want to.
No, it means hello, I love you, goodbye. So it's like, hello, I love you, goodbye. That was back in my Mackin day, my player days. But yeah, for real, man. And everyone's, that's why it's hard. Back to the whole, like, is it okay for transgenders to show their titties or whatever? It's like, you can't bunch, even though you can, but it's just like everyone, and it's naturally to categorize. And you can't punch all the men, all white people, all black people, all Asian, whatever it is. You can't put them all in the same because we're all individuals. Yes, there's going to be stereotypes.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's just like, it's what it is. But I take pride in breaking those molds as much as I can, or stereotypes as much as I can, and just being a human. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all given this beautiful life. We're all given struggles. You know what I mean? And
this country's a trip, bro. My
man,
parents
God
didn't
bless
come,
America.
You know, like if my parents didn't come over here and I'd be in Korea. It's pretty crooked, but it's a beautiful play, man. For the gods,
it's
all these different races.
It's a lot better than a lot of other places.
We're trying to figure out equal rights.
I can't deny that.
You know, the music that comes from out of here.
Oh my God. Everyone wants to, you know, they hate us, but they want to be like us. That's facts.
It's an amazing piece of time.
Or like, oh my God, you're American, dope. Like I heard going to Japan, and if you're from America, they love that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you're white.
So, and I'm white.
Yeah.
And I rap. And I can rap. You know, that actually got me a lot of friends when I moved to Hawaii, because there was only like 3 people who rapped at the time, you know, in Hawaii. And so I got a lot of friends. I'd be the guy at the party rapping. And the crazy thing is, I thought I was just going to blow up. But I remember like I was 16. I just thought I was just going to, by the time I'm 21, someone's going to drop in a helicopter in Maui and be like, come with us. We're going to Success Town.
You're a millionaire. Yeah.
Let's go, you Halle boy. You're a rock star. And we found you on our Forever 21 and Locator.
Even when those situations happen, it's
21 like, and me, 23 and
you got to sell your soul, man.
I have met the devil, and the devil offered me everything I ever wanted. This was in a cab ride one Friday the 13th in Oahu. And all I had to do was kiss its ring. It had this big red ring. And that's how I know that that is real. Like selling your soul is a real, true thing. That was also
like a dream or something you're saying?
No, it was real. There's a slight technicality. I was on acid.
Okay.
So the devil was like, you know, no one's ever going to believe this because you know how high you are. And I was like, wow, that's fucked up. You're right. But I was like, man, the devil's not such a bad guy. The devil was driving a taxi. After this, I've seen things about, they call them jinns. They're like
I kind of heard about stuff like that, though.
If you watch American Gods, there's a guy who drives a taxi who plays a jinn who like grants wishes. And it's kind of like Aladdin, Genie in the Lamp. And after this, I kind of studied because I'm like, yo, I didn't think the devil was real. I had a concept of what I called God. And I remember asking God, like, God, show me what's going on. And I thought Jesus, you know, I practice Nietzsche in Buddhism. I love Hare Krishna, Ganesh, Hinduism. I got kind of a Batman belt of spirituality. Jesus Christ, that's my dog. Jesus Christ. And it's through this night that where I met the devil, it had this long list of names that it identified as. And it was like, because Jesus at the time was just kind of like Santa Claus. Saint Nick was probably a real person in Germany or wherever he was at, but did he have these superpowers that could fly around the night and get into the chimney and give all these kids who have been good presents that they wish for? So at the time, Jesus wasn't really real to me, but I had a concept of what I called God, and but I remember it was Friday the 13th on a good hit of acid. And I was promoting clubs out there. Life was really good. We were doing we had just got done with like a Wu-Tang after party. I was freestyling with Jizza and Capadonna. We had like Bone Thugs come out on our boat parties. Life was really good. I'd always had a pocket full of cash and a bag of tricks to party with, and a bar tab. And you just give me a microphone. I was hosting parties, emceeing. We had like Latin nights, all kinds of shit. Dog the Bounty Hunter would come tap in with us at the party. And
remember that show?
Yeah. Here, brother, have a cigarette, brother. We're gonna take in all these damn ice heads, man. But so then I hopped in the cab and it was kind of like this angelic look, and I was like, whoa, there's something different about this taxi driver. And so I was like, hello, Mr. Powers, you know, or something of the sort. It's like, welcome to the war. Do you know what side you're on? I was like, wait, what? And started going off all these things I ever wished for, and would kind of like drive by this club where there was a red carpet, and all of a sudden I'd be like in the back of like a limo, and I'd be fresh to death, and there'd be all these paparazzis waiting for me. My name would be up in the marquee. It'd be like going to the Grammys or something like that, or like the Oscars or something. And I'd step out of the cab and I'd start hitting that stroll. It's like, oh my God, Pierre, girls crying and stuff like that. And it gave me what that feeling was like to walk on that, to just be the dude, be that like Brad Pitt, be Drake, you know what I mean? And just be like, haha, you know what I'm saying? And then it'd pull me right back in. I'd be back in the taxi cab. And it'd be like, you don't got to give me your firstborn. You don't got to sign nothing. All you got to do is kiss this ring. Yeah, this big red ring. I couldn't make this up. You know what I mean? It'll be with me for the rest of my life. It changed me forever. And like, and I was like, whoa. And I was like, the devil's not such a bad guy. Of course I want that. He's like, I heard you want to be the first platinum rap artist out of Hawaii. And that was always like my dream, is to be the first platinum hip hop artist out of Hawaii. You know, it'd be crazy, right? Some white guy out of Hawaii having a platinum record. And he's like, I could do that for you. All you got to do is kiss my ring. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do this for sure. And so I went in, and as soon as I'd like go in, he was driving, one hand on the wheel, one hand on the back of the passenger seat. And I was sitting like kitty corner in the back rear passenger. And I had a friend in the car who was totally blacked out this night. He has my father's name, Carrie. I have his brother's name, Brendan. He has my deceased uncle's middle name. We have the same birthday. And we were in like a rap crew together. We met selling mushrooms together. And so then I was like, it's getting deep. And I was going to kiss the ring. And then I felt these, like, my friends, like, pulling on me like this. Because I was going to go in, and it's like, no, know whose side you're on. Know who you work for. And I'd be like, remember who you are. And I'd be like, whoa, like, where are these voices coming from? Which to me, in hindsight, were like my guardian angels, my spirit guides, my team. Like before, you're like, all right, you're getting ready, you're going to Earth. Yeah. You got this mission, and you're going to do it. And you're going to go in there, and when you get there, you're going to forget everything that we're telling you right now. But we're going to be there to guide you, you know, through angel numbers and fucking hallucinogenics and shit. And so, like,
trippy, man.
Super trippy. And I remember when, like, every time that happened, I'd be like, whoa, like, what are you guys talking about? Like, who are you guys? Like, what do you mean remember who I am, what side I'm on? And then we drove around for a while, and the devil was like, yeah, like, the cops work for me. Like, you know, I got them all on the payroll. Like, you don't got to worry about, I know you're hustling out here. You don't got to worry about cops, which is crazy because I fell asleep in my neighbor's car and got busted like a couple months after this happened. I wasn't protected anymore. And so, like, he was like, basically, and it was kind of, I say a he, but angels are like asexual. They're like asexual or unisexual.
Right, yeah.
They're not like
they
don't have a gender. So Lucifer, although it's kind of masculine, they call it like Lucy, you know what I mean? And so then we were driving around for a while and went through all these different things that I'd prayed for and been granted to me, and all these things that I wanted that I didn't necessarily. I used to want to be a gangster when I was growing up. I thought I wanted to be a thug, and then I saw like they're not good people, a lot of them, and I just want to be a good dude and be liked and be successful artist,
Right.
And so then finally, long story short, we stopped and I saw myself falling. I got this vision. I hit this cross, and I turned in this like blinged out, like platinumized like Jesus piece. And there's like this explosion of colors, and I was like, "Whoa, Jesus Christ!" Because I was like, "Who the fuck do I work for? What are y'all talking about? Like, who is?" And when I said Jesus Christ, like a lot of people say it and don't have any faith or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily identify as a Christian, though I'm a follower of Christ. And so like that's my dude. I talk to him on a daily basis, the Spirit of Christ. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Right when that hit, this light bulb went off. And it was like I won the lottery. I was like, whoa, like I found Jesus on an acid trip. And it was like I was so powerful. I ended up getting out the car. I got beat up by like 6 cops. I got tased, mace. I threw up. I got put in the hospital. They threw my brains back in my head, stapled it shut, and I ended up leaving the hospital with no charges a few days later. But that was a crazy ass Friday the 13th, man. We just had a Friday the 13th. I always think about it, and I wrote a song about it on my album that came out some years ago called "You're the Peacock."
So it was an hallucination then, right? Or like you were on acid, you really were in the car? Or
to me, it was just like a real experience. But yeah, it was induced by LSD, which I think is a great drug. I've also had like really bad trips on it as well.
And the driver was there, or was that just from the LSD?
I don't know if the driver was the devil, or if the driver's like, man, this guy's on a good one in my back seat, man.
Because I've been on acid before, so I know what you're talking about.
It's wild, but to me,
it is an extreme.
To me, it was as real as me and you talking right here. Like still to this day, to me, it was like I have conviction that those entities are real.
And you were there. You were like transported in that space, right?
Yeah, and since then, I've seen. I've fell down the rabbit holes of people, talking about it. I sold my soul to the devil. I met the devil, did this, or we do these ceremonies. Hollywood's super into these, secret society ceremonies,
for sure.
And getting lit and drinking baby guts
blood,
and adrenal glands and stuff like that.
It's true. So,
to me, it's real. And now it's just something that opened my eyes to it. Now, I'm not like a Bible thumper or anything like that, but because like I said, I practice Nietzschean Buddhism. I study the Lotus Sutra. I love my mantra, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. It changed my life. That mantra right there did too. And while I do my silent meditations, when I'm done with that, I thank the Spirit of Christ. I thank the island of Maui. I thank, because they say Maui was a god that pulled up all these other islands around it, and it calls people there for certain reasons. So I thank Hare Krishna. I thank St. Anthony, who helps me find lost things. And I think anything that's out there helping me. I'm like, anything I can't see with the naked eye that's got my back, I acknowledge it on a daily basis. I say, thank you. Show me the next step to take. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely feel you in that spiritual sense too. Hey, we are well past an hour, Pure.
We crushed it.
So yeah, thank you for
Thanks
coming,
for having me,
man. Create Studios Podcast 64 with Pure Powers. Thank you guys for listening. We got to go, but I appreciate you coming on the show, bro, and everything. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. A lot of clips coming on Instagram. Y'all, one love. We are out.
That was fun.
that, you know, like, whoa, that girl's freaking
So many beautiful humans in this world. So many beautiful
It kind of is ridiculous. You know, I just heard there was this guy, this Japanese soldier, when his plane went down in World War II. Something like, or no, wait, no. Sorry, it was a dad in the Vietnamese War, and he took his 2-year-old son into the forest because Vietnam was in a war, and he stayed there for 40 years. They lived in the forest with his 2-year-old son, right? So his 2-year-old son ends up becoming like 40. He's never seen a woman. He goes back into society. And
wait, how did he never see a woman?
Because his dad took him when he was 2 into the forest because this huge war was going on in Vietnam when the Americans came through. So he went and hid, you know, with his son and in the part of the place they weren't fighting at. And so, you know, for 40 years he lived in a forest. 40, and then he just got reintroduced to society like a little while ago.
Whoa. I wonder if he like never jacked off or anything like that. Like, was he,
I know, because you're just hooking up with trees. Yeah, like what? Because he didn't know like, there was like his dad instinct. Didn't tell him about women. So as far as he knew, there was no woman because he never met his mom, and so his dad just didn't tell him his women. And like there was only like 5 people they'd ever seen in his life.
This is mind blowing.
And 5 people were just like people who like they were hiding from, you know, that would kind of go in the area, but they were all men. Wow. So he never saw, because there's not a lot of women people who hike deep into a forest. That's on
like Netflix?
I forget. I heard the story on Joe Rogan's podcast, but it was just like, whoa. Like, can you imagine?
So he's like, that's what this thing's
never
for.
seeing a woman. And you're at 40. You're at 40. Because you know,
do what with this
that's
thing?
what I'm saying. Like, when you see a girl, it's kind of breathtaking at times. You're like, whoa, that girl's like, whoa, it hits your body. And so I'm just imagining, like, damn, you've never seen a woman, and you just see one, and you see another one, you see another one, like. You're probably falling in love like every fucking time you're seeing
He's
one.
heterosexual, I take it.
Maybe he's not. Maybe I don't know. I want to Google that story and look into it more and see, you know.
I want to go to Vietnam too.